And we're back. I'm your host, BKP, the voice of rural America, North Georgia's only live online morning show. You know, I can't wait to get here on Mondays. I know, I understand. I can't wait to get here on Mondays. But let me say this. Rose, our social media director, is waiting to look at Facebook and check out any messages you may have. If you want to get in touch with our show, 706-889-9700, 706-889-9700, or you can send us an email to chief@fetchernews.com. That's chief@fetchernews.com. And then also you can follow us on Twitter at FYNTV, at FetcherNews.com. And if you want to join and subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's FYNTV YouTube. Okay, now I talked in the first half, Hurricane Harvey, and again, let's just start every segment out with showing them how they can donate to the Red Cross there. Richie, put that up for a minute. We're going to do this after we come back from commercial every time. If you would like to donate to the relief fund there to the Red Cross. And so now, for those of you that are the hardcore, you study this. You know who everybody is. You know their names. This is not for you, but pay attention. What I mean by that, let's go back a year. Trump's in his 7th month. President Donald Trump's in his 7th month. And I just want to paint this scenario. And I'm going to give you what I think. And then Richie, tell me what you think if you agree with me. And that's probably best. Anyhow, so let's go back a year. Okay? Do you know a year ago who Sebastian Gorka is? Do you know? No. America doesn't know Sebastian Gorka. Okay? Go back a year ago. Do you know who Steve Bannon is? No, you don't. I know you're out there yelling, I know Steve Bannon, I can't. Easy. Let's go with the 98% of Americans. You're in the 3%. We'll give it 3%. Wasn't that funny? Let's go with the 98%. You're in the 3%. You're like wondering, why did you cut out 1% of America? So let's just rewind that. You're in the 3% that pays attention. 97% do not. So a year ago, just a year ago, did you know who Sebastian Gorka was? No, you did not. Just a year ago, did you know who Mad Dog James Mattis is? Okay, no, I don't think many people did. A year ago, did you know anything about General John Kelly, the new chief of staff? I don't really think so. Okay, really, I don't. Did you know very much about Bannon? What about Kellyanne Conway? Did you know her a year ago? Okay, 3% did, but 97% people didn't know Kellyanne Conway. Did you know little Stephen Miller? No. What is the guy, Corey Lewandowski, right? Did you know who Corey Lewandowski is a year ago? Nah, you know Corey Lewandowski. What did that mean to you over your Starbucks latte, right? And with a little cream and cinnamon, and got you going into the fall here, you pumpkin spice as well on its way. You had no idea. Who is this Corey Lewandowski? You didn't know, right? What about, let's go with, let's see if we can get a couple more. Paul Manafort. Did you really know who Paul Manafort? Paul Manafort, I mean, you did not realize that went all the way back to Reagan's election, but you didn't know. So, what did they do best, many of them? Steve Bannon, okay? Now pay attention to this, because if you think, because Donald Trump, now I want you to put this in, I want you to think about it all week, and I want you to listen to all the other talking heads and the claymation toys that are on there with the corporatocracy, left media pulling their strings, okay? That's the only thing. Can you see their strings as you're watching them around the round table? You know, the Barnacles and the David Ignatius. I like that name. I just like to have that, David Ignatius, okay? So let's think about this. So anyhow, Why are they leaving the White House now? All right. So you got Corey Lewandowski. You got to remember, folks, Sheriff Joe. Donald Trump pardoned Sheriff Joe, right? I want to look at the camera and tell you, if the President of the United States tells you he's going to do something, he plans to do something, he intends to do something, and this is the way it's going to be, that's the way he is. If President Donald Trump says, this is my friend, that's the way he is. I picked this up, I understand. He's not going to throw his friends out. He's not going to. He's not going, oh, the establishment has rushed in and pushed Bannon out the door. Just my take. That's not Donald Trump's style. Okay? All right? My understanding is they had a nice, clean rollout for Bannon to leave, and then, then some snowflake drove by a statue and realized it was a Confederate statue in memory of, someone in the South, and, they got all teared up and the riot started and everything. Long story short, right? So the Bannon exit did not go as clean as they actually had planned. All of that being said, I'm getting to the point. Donald Trump does not, actions speak louder than words. Donald Trump does not throw his friends away. So if you think Steve Bannon, you got to understand now, through the primary, okay, through the primary, there was no Steve Bannon. There was no Steve Bannon, okay, through the primary. Through the primary, there was no Kellyanne Conway. There was only little Corey. Little Corey. Where's Corey? Where's Corey? Over here, Mr. Trump. So only little Corey Lewandowski was running around, shooting his mouth off, and Jared Kushner. Interesting, Jared Kushner. And somehow through the primary with 17 candidates, and the day Donald Trump came down the escalator and gave that speech saying he was running for president, okay, somehow he was in tune with all of his campaign promises. You have to realize all of Donald Trump's campaign promises from the primary, he walked over into the general election. Okay? Remember that. Don't forget it. Because the reason I'm going through this kind of methodically is because I know what the media is trying to paint with Bannon not there and now Sebastian Gorka not there, and oh my God, the globalists are running the White House. And there could be a lot of truth to that, but I'm just saying, pay attention to the whole scheme of things, all right? Now, so Donald Trump has his friends there, and he goes to the primary. Did you think maybe he knew Steve Bannon during the primary? Do you think maybe Steve Bannon did not have an official role during the primary, but maybe had some consulting information or made some comments that the president may have used during the primary? So maybe Bannon wasn't there in the primary, but maybe he was underlying, some of him and Gorka and some of these other people laying some groundwork through the primary that President Trump could bounce off of to get through the primary. You ever think about that? So you think when the general election came, this all of a sudden they said we need Bannon? Just think about it. All of a sudden, I'll tell you who could get us. We knocked out 17 opponents without Kellyanne Conway. Okay, this is Ted Cruz, communication director or something. Kellyanne Conway before, right? So we knocked out 17 opponents, and we now need a strategy to take on Hillary. Does anybody know this Steve Bannon guy? So the point I'm making is, I do not think, for one, that all of these people left the White House on bad terms. I do not think, for one, that many of these people left the White House. Now, Rice Previs and those guys, that's a different subject, okay? That's a different subject. But I don't think your Bannon and your Gorka and some of these people that are exiting the White House, okay, are exiting on bad terms with the president. I think they're exiting just in time for the 2018 election cycle. That's what I think. There's a side of me. This is a big, wide open, theory I have here. I think they left just in time for the election cycle. Because you see, if Donald Trump can make just a couple moves, he could actually get the agenda done he promised the American people. And he's going to have to go out, folks. You need to realize the President of the United States is going to have to go out of Washington, D.C. to get that done. He is going to have to campaign against Jeff Flake. He is going to have to campaign against Dean Hiller. He is going to have to campaign against these Republicans in name only, okay? He is going to have to continue to take on John McCain. Why when the left, why every damn Sunday morning the only people the left can find as Republicans are John Kasich and John McCain and Lindsey Graham? Even Republicans have questioned the president's motives and agenda and the direction he's going. Next up, we're going to talk to Ohio Governor John Kasich. Do you think when they go off air, because I understand, I do a live show, do you think when they go off air that those little weasels, you know the type, like, Claymation Stephanopoulos and Chucky the Todd, you think they're like off the air and saying, hey, Governor Kasich, please run again, please run again? I think they actually are. So anyway, that's just my take. I do not think they all got kicked out of the White House. I don't think Donald Trump allows that to happen to his friends. I think they're just in time for the 2018 election. Because let me say, and I'm going to drop this because Richie's over there with bated breath wanting to give his side of what he thinks. But remember here, probably before anybody else, I told you this could be the first president that really goes and takes on his own party and campaigns for a primary challenger against the incumbent. And I said, watch and see. So this weekend, all of the left corporatocracy media, all of them were out there about Trump taking on his own party. Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell, John McCain, Jeff Flake, Dean Heller, the list goes on of Bob Corker, Tennessee, him taking on. So I think the president's agenda is still moving forward. I think Steve Bannon, Gorka, many of these are leaving. Now, Kellyanne Conway's not gone. But let me tell you what Kellyanne, all right, they won an election, and we need to win some more elections in some key areas to send a real message, okay? You sent a message, okay, but there's one more message out there, America. One more message in an election. And it's to take on some of these establishment candidates that Bannon is going to run. He is going to run them through the fire. My prediction, I could be wrong. I hate to even have to say that because God knows there's nothing about being wrong do I enjoy. But I don't see Kellyanne Conway staying much longer. I don't know. I don't. And I'll tell you why. She knows how to go on the show and battle. But she also knows how to win elections. Okay? She's the first woman campaign chair to win a major election. First. Nobody gave her that credit, okay? She's the first woman. She knows how to win elections. So does she need to be in the White House, going in front of the TV cameras, defending the president? Because he has Sarah Huckabee, right? Sanders. Has Sarah Sanders doing that, right? So I look for Kellyanne. Now, I've said all of that. What do you think, Richie? Don't make me cut you off. I hope this is good, all right? You've been waiting. What do you think?
Well, first of all, to your point, can you imagine some of these liberals that love Lindsey Graham and John McCain now? Just think about them 10, 12 years ago when the mission was destroy the war machine, and McCain and Graham were public enemy number one, or probably public enemy number 2 and 3 behind W. Bush. But I just find that ironic.
Well, the thing is Republicans always get this false illusion that the media likes them. And it's not true. So how far off do you think I am here? You think I'm off?
I think you're right about Bannon. I think a lot of these guys realize they're more powerful outside the White House than they were inside because you're so trapped within. And the media likes to portray it as a palace intrigue, everything's falling apart. But Obama did the same thing. I mean, look at Axelrod and Messina, Rahm Emanuel. I mean, all those guys kind of exited early to go ahead and work on the 2012 campaign. So, I mean, we see this a lot.
Wait a minute. No, that can't be true, Richie. I'm very sarcastic. That can't be true. Those guys, they didn't leave early to work on a campaign, did they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's exactly right, folks. I think my opinion is you have some senators and you have some Democrats, but you have some Republicans. Now yes, will Bannon go after Claire McCaskill? It's ready to go. Okay, this is the no news week. Next week, after Labor Day, watch what happens. Will they go after Claire McCaskill? Yes. Are you getting ready to meet probably a very strong Republican challenger against Joe Manchin in West Virginia? Joe's making the biggest political mistake of his career, Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia. If he does not go red, and very soon you're getting ready to meet a very strong candidate. I will tell you this, I have information that says that the Republicans have been very nice to Joe Manchin, okay? They have. The president, senators, many Republicans that you like and respect have been very nice to Joe Manchin and have tried to talk him gingerly into making the step. That's all I can say. But my understanding is no. So you're getting ready to have Joe Manchin, Claire McCaskill. There's several of these that are getting ready, plus Republicans. You got something else on that, Richie, before we move forward?
Just about Gorka, I think it's he's a little different. I think he was boxed in by the new folks that have been pouring in with the changes going on, especially since John Kelly came in. And I don't know. I think he wanted to stay, but if you look at his resignation letter, his final straw was the Afghanistan speech.
What in the Afghanistan speech bothered him, he says?
According to him, the fact that not once did it mention the term radical Islamic terrorism. I think him and Tillerson, he views Tillerson as a globalist, and Mattis, Mattis is a military man. I think he wants war whenever he can get it. And then as far as the foreign policy of it all, that's the one thing that Trump ran on that maybe isn't holding up is foreign policy. But how foreign policy is. I mean, there's so much we don't know.
So I took the Afghanistan speech to challenge folks, and you know that I challenged it. I took it to task right here. I'm not 100% on the Afghanistan speech. I actually asked Senator David Perdue the other day, right, Richie? Hey, what did you see? It's because Senator David Perdue, which I think he's doing an outstanding job as a senator for the state of Georgia. What did he tell us, Richie? Still 100% committed to the president, 100%. He's okay with 51 votes, right? Changing the rule in the Senate. He's got all the positives. You know what blew me away was the deal that was made, and I think we'll talk about that. You remember the deal that was made so they could go home?
I thought that was the biggest news made throughout
the whole interview. I mean, why would you make any deal with Chuck Schumer? Any deal. I mean, if you're going to make a deal, why was it that? So can you do me a favor? Look up how many, while we're on our next break, how many Trump appointees are still waiting, if that comes up something very quick. Gorka, I agree with him. I did not like and am not 100% on board with the Afghanistan speech. I asked Senator David Perdue last Thursday here at Georgia, the video. Richie has the video on YouTube. You can go there and check out my interview. It's about 13 minutes long, and we cover that with him. He's on the Senate Armed Services Committee, and I said, what did you see in 16 years? I mean, 16. Now, obviously, this goes back to Jimmy Carter, okay? But what did you see in the last 16 years that really feels we have a different strategy now that we can do this? So I don't know. We're waiting to see. I think, I'm serious, I think some of these, now I know what Sebastian Gorka said, but to me, he's the new John Bolton. Okay, and let me tell you why. there was a time that I think, okay, if any of this comes true, I'm doing pretty good. If half of it comes true, I'm doing pretty good. You know, at least I'll break even at the track, right? So, but Bannon, now stay with me. The rumors are swirling. I told you this last week that Bannon left to start his new conservative news network. And, you know, sources tell me there's a couple pretty good talents out there that are not doing anything right now that actually could pull overnight ratings. Now, there's nothing better than knowing you could turn the switch on, right, Richie? You could turn the switch on and you got millions of viewers. Well, Bannon knows if all the cards are in place, he could turn the switch on and millions of viewers. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, let's not get into the sexual harassment, none of that right now, but if you start seeing promos for Bill O'Reilly at 8, okay, on some new news network, you will wake up to you will see millions of viewers. If you start Sean Hannity, I'm just saying, okay? Now, years ago, during the Bush administration, right, wasn't it John Bolton? He was the recess appointee. Remember that, Richie? He was the recess appointee to the UN ambassador. So he's recess appointee to the UN ambassador. You know, and you knew him because he had a mustache, right? Anyhow, so Whiskers there, he is on every night. So he leaves the Bush administration before the recess appointment, right? You don't know John Bolton. Yes, I do. No, I'm talking not the 3%, the 97% of Americans. You don't know John Bolton. You get the recess appointment. They're going nuts, right? Bolton serves in the UN. Now he's known nationally. He's a national known figure. Think of it, Sebastian Gorka, okay? So now he comes back in every night. He is a lead. He's on every Fox show every night. Right, Richie? Every night. Sebastian Gorka, to me, I agree with his reasons for leaving, but to me, I think you might see him on that new Steve Bannon network every night. What is that? You got to tell me when to put my glasses on.
This is, according to Politico, the spree of approvals, talking about the deal made, leaves the president with 147 nominees awaiting Senate action, significantly more than the previous 4 administrations had as of early August, according to a tally kept by the Independent Partnership for Public Service.
All right, hold on. Stay there. So that's as of early August, right?
That was as they went out for recess. This is 5 dozen picks were made in a flurry after the deal was made.
All right. Let's come back to that. Let's do that after that. Let's do a segment on that and use this back and go with that so we can put that up, okay? I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a break. About 9:20, folks, we're going to come back talking about Joe Arpaio and the dirty little deal that Mitch McConnell, you know, it's not making the damn Sunday shows, right? Did you see that on any of the Sunday shows, Rich? Not seeing that anywhere. The dirty little deal Mitch McConnell made with Chuck Schumer. We're going to go through that, Joe Arpaio, and then I am going to tell you, I'm going to explain to you what I mean about the warrant versus the citation in the city of Blue Ridge. I promise that is going to happen today. Richie, take us to break.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Broken Bull, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing, is locally owned and operated. Our Simply Noel selection is the largest around. We have a great selection of unique clothing and several lines to choose from for men and women. We carry a beautiful variety of handmade jewelry from Blessed Be and others. All kinds of gifts, starting to carry shoes this fall as well. Come visit us on your next trip to Blue Ridge. We can't wait to meet you at Broken Bull, located in downtown Blue Ridge. Papa's Pizza to Go in downtown Blue Ridge is the best in the area all-you-can-eat buffet. Call ahead or order online now at papaspizzatogo.com. Use our convenient pickup window for the best in pizza, subs, wings, breadsticks, salads, and more. And be sure to check out our lively game room. We serve lunch and dinner, catering available, take out or dine in. Papa's Pizza to Go in Blue Ridge, proud sponsors of the Fannin County Rebels. Be sure to check out New Blue Home and Gift, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Find us on Twitter at New Blue Home. Everything beautiful for your home or a special gift can be found at New Blue Home and Gift. Call us today at 706-455-3873 or visit us at 531 East Main Street, Suite 103 in downtown Blue Ridge. Kinty Artesian Silver and Gifts, the Peruvian shop, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Fine sterling silver, luxurious baby alpaca and exotic woods. A beautiful selection of exquisitely crafted gifts for all of your special occasions. Visit our website, artesiansilvergifts.com, or follow us on Twitter at Artesian Silver Gifts. Kinty Artesian Silver and Gifts, the Peruvian shop in downtown Blue Ridge. The Tupelo